From a purely basketball standpoint, that's what we're obviously talking about on this show as we look at conference realignment within the Big 12. You take what has been Ken Palm's number one conference in America 8 of the past 10 seasons. That is insane to me. And in those 2 years where they weren't number one, they were number 2. Pretty darn good. And then you add in traditional dominant basketball programs like Arizona, like Houston, who is at the top of things right now with Kelvin Sampson. And it seems to me like the Big 12 is only serving to solidify their standing. Do you agree with that? Do you think they're getting stronger? Or do you think, kind of similar to what's happened with the ACC, is they've gotten bigger, that it is going to dilute the product some at the bottom end?
Can I say both?
Yeah,
and this might make some Big 12 fans or fans of individual schools in the Big 12 upset. There is dilution here. There is you're adding in teams like UCF that are on a roller coaster. You're adding in a BYU, who I think is a dark horse candidate, who's on a roller coaster. Utah, Colorado. God bless Arizona State. You never really know what you're gonna get from them. Right?
A great November and December, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, exactly. and that's why I look at what the Big 12 has done. You know, Cincinnati's gone down a little bit after Mick Cronin. I look at what the Big 12 has done in adding these schools, and I say, hey, it's great. But there was a point this last year, especially, where you could look around and say no off days in the Big 12. You can't say that anymore. You can't say there are no off days in Big 12 basketball anymore. You're going to have a team that only scrounges together 3-4 wins in Big 12 play by virtue of the size of this conference. Now, at the same time, Texas and Oklahoma, 2 teams that have struggled to have consistent production in the postseason. Oklahoma, you have your Buddy Hield Final Four. That was like 8 years ago. Yeah. Man, I'm getting old, right? Yeah. It's been a long time since Oklahoma was truly on the map in college. It was Lon Kruger when they were on the map in college.
That Blake Griffin year, his senior year.
Yep, which I wasn't even born for. So we are
hold the phone. When were you born?
I can't disclose that.
Oh,
I cannot disclose that.
What?
I think Griffin was there like 08. I think the loss of Texas and Oklahoma is not killer. It's not killer. And you're adding in the Arizona, which is a great brand. You're adding in Houston, which is a Final Four caliber squad, and a couple of others that are dark horse candidates. But overall, yeah, you're the best conference in college basketball. That doesn't change because you lost Texas and OU and replaced them with Arizona and Houston. But you added in a couple of pillow games. You're not every game's going to be a quad one
as it's been,
right. And I'm okay with it. I'm okay. It dilutes a little bit for sure, but I'm not complaining.
Yeah, because it seems like, like I mentioned the ACC. One of the things that we see with the ACC is obviously there's the bottom feeders like Boston College that we get that kind of situation. Woof. And Louisville last year, I'm still trying to reckon with
Florida State, who just floundered beginning of the year.
Yeah, it was just painful as those schools do that. But with the Big 12, I mean, I think there's still what I was saying about the ACC is you get that top end heft with Duke, with North Carolina, with Virginia, with Miami right now. And even though it's a little bit diluted at the bottom, that top flight thing is so strong. But I think with the Big 12, that top flight strength, I feel like goes even further down into the conference rankings than it has done the last couple of years with the ACC. And that to me is kind of what keeps Big 12 right there near the top. Agree or disagree?
Yeah, so what I'm doing right now is crunching a couple of numbers here and carry the 4 and carry the Big 12 is the deepest conference in college basketball still. It doesn't. So I'm going to give you some teams here, and you already named a lot of these, but I want you to just think basketball when I say these. Texas Tech, TCU, Oklahoma State. I haven't even gotten to the Blue Bloods. Kansas State, who's a new blood. Kansas, who has a national championship. Iowa State, Hilton Magic. Houston, Final Four prowess. Colorado's got a big brand. Cincinnati has been dominant in March under Mick Cronin. Can they get back there? BYU.
Big Ten coach, Mick Cronin, by the way.
Bingo. UCLA. BYU, who's got a hell of a fan base. Baylor, who's got a national championship. Arizona State, which exists. Arizona, with their Final Four caliber, West Virginia, who was so good in the transfer portal this last year, and then Utah as well. You're looking at least 10 of these 16 teams that should go to the tournament every single year. The Big 12 might have just bought a ticket to a 10-bid league, and I am not complaining about that.